The fifth mini project I wanted to work on for my Revive 25 in 2025 is to revive sky memories. I have become, I guess, a bit of a sky fan. I love night sky, rainbows, sunsets, sunrises, and when the lunar eclipse from March 21st was coming up, I was kind of trying to remember how this all started. When did I start loving, phenomenon of the sky? In particular, there was talk of a comet this year, and now that I did a bit of research, it was actually in the southern hemisphere, so it's not a comet that I could have seen, but I did remember seeing a comet, and I remember the story with relation to my husband's cousin who was visiting from Australia, and I was trying to remember the details of that story, and so that's kind of how I wanted to just kind of start connecting these different events that I've witnessed. I've, been seeing the Northern Lights for the last few years, the total solar eclipse last year, partial eclipses a few years ago, full moons, and I kind of just wanted to combine all those memories, especially the more meaningful ones, and kind of try to figure out how all this came about. So what I ended up doing was going through my photo albums and just looking, are there photos? And I think it's probably the same for everyone, that back when we used to have film cameras, we probably didn't waste photos on the sky. And I've also heard when you inherit photos, a lot of times they'll say, just get rid of landscapes, get rid of flowers and things, like all you care about are people. And of course the people photos are most meaningful, but also sometimes these landscapes or sky photos, like they also tell a story of who the person is. Looking back at photos, I also noticed a lot of times on our trips to the Caribbean, we would have a lot of moon photos. In particular on our honeymoon, we like zoomed out in order to have a photo of each of us on the beach with the moon above, because it was like a half moon. It was very bright and beautiful. And on future trips as well, like when the moon would just be rising or the sun was rising, it would, because you can see the horizon, it just looks so much bigger because it's closer to the earth. That was another way that I got even more interested, was when we were on these trips and I would see the beauty of it. But again, if we see it every day, I think it stops being special. So I think being on holiday, they become special. And there's a full moon every month. Some are closer to the earth and are called supermoons, where others aren't. And I think even if I go out every month, it would kind of stop being so special. So I do love doing it not too often and not too rarely. There's a fine line of how often we want to be experiencing these events. So when this lunar eclipse was happening, I was thinking, like, I think I've seen a lunar eclipse, right? Like, have I seen it? And that's when I want to connect the moments that, yes, I did in 2008, and now I got to see another one. I set my alarm for 2:30 in the morning and had planned to stay up for an hour it was going to peak at 3 o'clock. So then I thought I'd see it at its peak and then go back to bed. But then what ended up happening is that these amazing, beautiful clouds showed up. For a moment, actually for quite a while, I was wondering, is this the beginning of Northern Lights? And they kind of came out of nowhere, and some of them were kind of popping in and out, and maybe that is also, clouds do that as well, but it really reminded me of the Northern Lights, and I was really in awe of the clouds. In my mind, I loved thinking that it might have been very faint Northern Lights, because the next day I ended up looking and there were Northern Lights at night. So anyway, it was just nice to just be in awe of more beauty, like it was I didn't know whether to look at the clouds or the lunar eclipse. It was really special, and I stayed up a lot longer than I'd planned. Another pivotal moment that I remember that gave me a love of the night sky in particular was when we were in Sedona on a business reward trip. They organized to have astrologists come, and they brought all their big telescopes and gave us a lesson on the night sky. We got to see planets and stars through the telescopes. So that was really eye-opening, just to learn so much more about it. And I still remember when, like, the first real partial eclipse that I saw, the solar eclipse, and the Science Center was giving out solar eclipse glasses. So I went down and it was chaos. There was so many people wanting glasses, and the lineup was so long, but I was happy I got a pair. And we went to the park and kind of made a pinhole camera as well, right? That if you don't have proper eclipse glasses, then you can't look up at the sky. But so that was really special because that was the first one I remembered. It was a partial solar eclipse that I really, really appreciated. And then that evening we went to see Coldplay, and I managed to get a photo of the lyric when they talk about the eclipse, the moon and its eclipse. So I just love connecting those two moments together. And then there was another partial eclipse in the fall of 2023, and I didn't have the glasses anymore. So I thought, oh well, I'll just let that one go. But on the drive back, I ended up hearing that Coldplay song. And I thought, okay, that's a sign. Like, maybe I should try and at least get a photo of it. I can't look up at it, but I did manage to get a photo of it. I was so happy when I saw the photo. And then, of course, the major solar eclipse in April, when I bought, like, actual real, real solar eclipse glasses. In case the paper ones got wrecked. I never want to be without glasses again, right?
Oh my gosh!
If you look this way, like, see the sun setting?
Oh my
So I want to be connecting these moments, so the lunar eclipses with the solar eclipses, sunrises and sunsets, and rainbows. A couple of days after the lunar eclipse, we were coming back from a walk, and as we walked in the house, it started to pour, and I was like, oh wow, we're so lucky that we didn't get poured on. And then 10 or 15 minutes later, I noticed the sun coming out, and I wondered, is there a rainbow? Right, because if you want to see a rainbow, you have to be willing to go out in the rain when there's a bit of sun. I learned that on our trip to Hawaii when we saw so many rainbows, because there would be, some rain showers and then the sun would come out, but it was still kind of raining. So I went out and saw a rainbow, and this is the nudge I got this week. I wanted to revive these types of sky memories and kind of connect them all together so that, they become more meaningful when we connect them together and see where the love started, what, happened that made it even more meaningful, and why. The story just brings it all together. I just love these events, and now I want to just keep track of them. I want to know when there's going to be eclipses or partial eclipses or supermoons, or if I'm in a place where I am close to the horizon and seeing a sunset or sunrise. It just brings a lot of happiness to my life. So I hope I'm encouraging you to follow some of your nudges of things that maybe you notice something that you love and you kind of question, how did that start? When else have I experienced this? And that you want to connect and revive some of those memories.